should be identifying the seasons that we are in. And we should be acting accordingly.
And then it's coming.
To what seasons we are in.
The ending is coming and time is still running, but these people do not believe. Ahchyam love it when our people cover, we making his jobs a bit easy. They trading they soul for little to nothing, tell me if you even need it. Some of these people just greedy. What about feeding the needy? I feel the Ruach in my chest like it's treasure. Not a treasure chest, but in my chest there's a treasure. I'm a vessel. Spread repentance every time I shift the level. I got 7. You ain't gotta sneeze for me to bless you. Guess I'm special. Father, protect us. Your mercy is precious. Do not neglect us. Reading through extras. Your word is a sword. I'm swinging my weapon. This is the spirit. Nothing for people to question. This not a lesson. This is my blessing. That money mean nothing. Like a recession. What do you think I invest in? Y'all really be wildin'. You don't impress me. For the most high, I be zealous. I promise I'm riding like an equestrian. No matter what mess I'm in, he never forsake me. I give him reverence. Tell him don't mess with him. Want my anointing? You gotta catch me then. Angels be my friend. The book of life, I tell them etch me in. We are the tribes. I call them Issachar. Y'all call them Mexicans.
Whoa. Let's slow it down. Shalawam. Let's give all praises be to our Father, Yahawah, Allah, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the power of Israel. Let's give thanks to Yahawah. Shalawam to all the Ahchs out there, all the Ahchwaths out there. Make sure if you tuned in, don't just turn this off. Hit the like button right now. Subscribe, share, comment, do all those things so we can edify the nation. The water, thank you for tuning in. You know me, I love to dive right into the scriptures. Usually I do my Proverbs chapter 3, but today I got a hot one. So we're going to just dive right into the scriptures. This one going to be about Ruth and, how she's an Israelite. And I wish people stop saying that she is a heathen and she's a Moabite. So I'm going to try to go into a few scriptures, try to show that she was an Israelite. She was actually from the tribe of Reuben, and she was not a Moabite. So, I'm going to use the automated thing to talk some to help me through these things. So bear with me. This is Ruth chapter 1, verse 1, and it says in the King James Blue Letter Bible, and it says, "Now it came to pass in those days when the judges ruled." Now, this is very important that we're going to come back to that, but that's very important. That's a key component right there, that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethel, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab. But Bethlehem, Judah, and went to sojourn in the country of Moab. He and his wife and his 2 sons. So we had a Judite brother, as we can see, from the tribe of Judah, and he had 2 sons. So these sons were Judites, and they went to where? The country of Moab. And this is where it all starts, where people think that, since they went to the land or the country of Moab, that Ruth was a Moabite. So with that, let's go back some before we get to the book of Ruth. Let's go back a little bit, and we're going to go back to the book of Numbers. Right? Numbers chapter 21. Numbers chapter 21. And we're going to start at verse 4. And I'll read for it. "And they journeyed from Mount Harah by the way of the Red Sea to compass the land of Edom. These are the children of Israel after they left out of Egypt. Now they're traveling, going through the wilderness, trying to get to the promised land." Remember? So they had to go around Edom, "and the soul of thy people which was discouraged because of the way." It was a long way. "And thy people spake against the Most High and against Moses, wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread." Right? So they were unhappy. It wasn't what they thought it was going to be. So the people were unhappy. Let's jump down to verse 10. right? And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in Oboth or Oboth, right? So like I say, the children of Israel, they are traveling, right? They're traveling. And I hope I'm not messing up these words. And they journeyed from Oboth and pitched at Ijobrim in the wilderness, which is before Moab, towards the sun rising, right? I'm going to jump to 13. From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness that cometh out of the coast of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. So wherever the children of Israel was, they was right by the border of what? Arnon. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Let me see. Let me get this. Hold on.
Chapter 21 said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent, and came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of Abarim in the wilderness which is before Moab toward the sun rising.
That's
From
verse
thence
11.
they removed and pitched in the valley of Zared. From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Arnon,
Arnon, how you pronounce it? Arnon.
which is in the wilderness that cometh out of the coast of the Amorites.
Which is in the wilderness that cometh out of the coast of the Amorites. That's what I just said, right? For
Arnon is the
Arnon,
border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites.
so it is the border, right? And that's very important. It is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. So it's a border there, and that's very important, right? That's very important. Hopefully you remember that. Verse 13. That's one key, right? Let's jump down to verse 21.
Rising. From thence they removed Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Spring up, O well, sing ye upon the border of Moab. And from thence they went to Beer, that is the well whereof Shimon. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, Let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards.
So Israel sent messengers. This is Numbers 21 and 21, right? It says, And Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, Let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along the king's highway until we pass thy borders. Now, who are they talking to? The Amorites. The Amorites, right? Okay, let me play it.
We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along by the king's highway until we be past thy borders.
So they want to pass the borders, right? Hopefully that's clear. We're going to go down to 26.
Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness. And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel.
So the king of who? The Amorites came out and fought against Israel. They came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. Remember this. The king of the Amorites came and fought against the children of Israel, right? The king of what? Sihon, right? If I'm saying that right. Verse 24.
And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword, and possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok, even unto the children of Ammon. For the border of the children of Ammon was strong.
So now we're talking about borders. That border of Arnon unto Jabbok, right? Jabbok. That turned into all Israel's land now, because it said, and Israel smote, meaning they killed him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from, it tell you, from the Arnon River unto the Jabbok River, or Jabbok River, even unto the children of Ammon. So all that land, they took that land over from that king of the Amorites, right? Verse 25. That's very important.
And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all the villages thereof.
So they took the Amorites' land, they dwelt in it, and then they dwelt in Heshbon, in all the villages thereof, right? Verse 26.
For Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites.
Oh, it's Sihon. I don't know. Sihon. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. That's how he pronouncing it. So we'll go with that. That's why I'm playing it, because I don't want to mess these names up. Sometimes these names is... Anyway, so from Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of who? Moab. Why is that important? Because the Amorites king Sihon took the land from Moab. It used to look like this. That's how the land of the Moabites used to look. It used to look like that. But now it looks like this. Why? Because the king of the Amorites went against Moab and took this land. Once again, it used to look like this. As you can see it on the screen. That's how the Moabites' land used to look before part of their land got taken away by the Amorites, and now it looks like that. How do we know that? Because Numbers chapter 21 just told us how the Amorites got their land. And this is why in this circle you see this land is the Amorites. It's called the plains of Moab, which means the country of Moab. You remember that in Ruth, it said that the Judite brothers and her husband, Naomi's husband, was going to the plains or to the country of Moab. They wasn't going down here to the land of Moab. They was going to the plains of Moab, which used to be the Amorites' land. But we just read in the book of what? Numbers, that what? The Amorites took it, and then who else took it? Israel took it. Israel took that land over. So now that land became who? Israelites' land. I hope you can see that. It's on the screen. That land that used to be the Amorites, it became Israelite territory now. So that country of Moab that the Judite brothers went to is really the plains of Moab, in the country of Moab. This is what it's talking about. This was Israelite territory now. Not only was it their territory, they end up conquering all of this. And we're going to get into that. Numbers chapter 22. We'll start at verse 1. I'll let him talk so I don't mess up no names.
Chapter 22. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor.
Notice it said on this, and the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of what? Moab. This is where Israel is right now, in the plains of Moab. This is where they're at right now. In the plains of Moab, on this side of the Jordan by Jericho. Why are they saying on this side? Because they hadn't crossed over the river, the Jordan River, to go into the land of Canaan. Because remember, that's where they was on their way to. They were on their way to the other side to go to the land of Canaan. But they had to conquer and go through these places. Remember, they asked the Amorites, can we just go through? They said no, and they came out to war with them. And then Israel squashed them and took the land from them, right? But they could have just let them go. But, hey, that's what they try to do against Israel, right?
saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites, and Moab was sore afraid
Hold on,
of the
let me
people.
rewind
Chapter
that.
22. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the
He saw all that Israel had done to who?
Amorites.
The Amorites. Why? Because Israel killed all of the Amorites and took their land. So they spooked now. They scared. Go ahead.
And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel.
And Moab was scared of the children of Israel. Once again, Moab, the people of Moab was scared of the children of Israel. Why? Because they just killed all of the Amorites and took their land. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Right? This is how the land became Israel territory. These people down here, this Moab that it just talked about in Numbers chapter 22, these people down here were scared of the Israelites right here in the plains of Moab, right? Or in the country of Moab. They were scared. Deuteronomy. Then it says, since I think it's Sihon, yeah. Then Sihon came out against us, he and all his people, to fight at Jahaz, right? So we know who was Sihon, the king of the Amorites. He came out against Israel, right? And YAHAWAH, our power, delivered him before us, and we smote, meaning to kill, him and his sons and all his people. All the Amorites, they killed them. They killed them. All the Amorites that was in that land, they killed them. I hope you can see that. And we took all his cities at that time and utterly destroyed the man. Let me highlight this. And we utterly destroyed the man and the women and the little ones, meaning their children, their kids, their babies, of every city. We left none to remain. So back here, when the children of Israel took this land from the Amorites, remember, Amorites, the children of Israel came in here where the Amorites were dwelling and killed all of them, right? Took the land to possess it, and now it was Israel's territory, as we see on the screen, right? This is the Arnon River. This is the Jabbok River that we read about in Numbers 21 and Numbers 22, and to the border of Ammon, which is right here. It say this was all Israel territory. This river, the Arnon River, is very important. This is what separates the Amorites or the Israelites and Moab now. I'm just showing that they took all of the land. There was the Amorites, right? Hopefully you see that. They took all of the land. Let's jump over to chapter 3, Deuteronomy. See what that got to say. The conquest, right? I don't want to mess up none of these names, so I'm going to play it. Bear with me.
Chapter 3. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan.
Uh-oh.
And Og, the king of Bashan, came up.
So then they turned. After they conquered the Amorites' land, the Israelites turned. They turned and they went up the way to what? Let me see what he say.
Chapter 3. Then we turned and went up the way to Bashan.
To Bashan, or Bashan. And the king of Bashan came out against us.
And Og, the king of Bashan, came out against us, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei.
So wherever this land is, Bashan, The king of Bashan, Og, came out to battle against the children of Israel. Let's see what happened. Verse 2.
And the Lord said unto me, Fear him not, for I will deliver him and all his people and his land into thy hand. And thou shalt do unto him as thou didst unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, which dwelt at Heshbon.
So he said the same thing you did to the king of the Amorites, how you killed them and killed all them people and took that land to be yours, the same you going to do to the king of Heshbon, right? YAHAWAH said, don't worry about nothing. Fear him not. I will deliver him and all his people and his land. You can see it right here. Hopefully you can see it. Let's read verse 3. So YAHAWAH, our power, delivered into our hands Og, also the king of Bashan, and all his people, and we smote him until none was left remaining. Come on, man. Israel took the land. It says we smote him until none was left remaining. That's Deuteronomy chapter 3. Now let's go see where this land is. Oh, I think we got it on the screen. It's up here at the top. So Israel turned when they took this land, and then they went up here to Bashan and took this land. So all this land now, remember this was the Amorites, and then this was the land of Bashan, and now they took this. So now all this, all the way from the Arnon River, the Jabbok River, all the way to the borders up here of Mount Hermon, all this is Israel territory. That's Deuteronomy chapter 3, verses 1, 2, and 3, telling you what they did, right? Telling you what they did. Hopefully you can see that this is all Israel territory. On the other side of the Dead Sea, on the other side of the Jordan, they haven't even went into the land of Canaan yet. They over here. So all this land used to be somebody else. Now it's Israel's territory. Let me get 6. And we utterly destroyed them, as we did Sihon, king of Heshbon, utterly destroyed the man. Right here again, it's telling you who it utterly destroyed the man, women, and children of every city. But all the cattle and the spoil of the cities we took for a prey to ourselves. And we took at that time out of the hand of the two kings of the Amorites the land that was on this side of the Jordan. Notice they keep letting you know that they were on this side of the Jordan. They hadn't crossed over yet. They hadn't crossed over from the river of Arnon all the way to Mount Hermon. This means what I just showed you earlier. This is the Arnon River right here, all the way to Mount Hermon, which I showed you. So all this land right here was given to the Israelites. All this land right here was given to the Israelites. You see it clearly on the screen. Chapter 3, verse 8. You can see it on the screen. The Arnon River until Mount Hermon. And that's what I just showed you. That's what I just showed you. That's Deuteronomy 3 and 8, right? That they took all that land. So you see it. Israel took all that. Let's go to Numbers 32. I'm going to let them read it. Numbers 32.
Chapter 32. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Jazer and the land of Gilead, that, behold, the place was a place for cattle, the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spake unto Moses and to Eleazar the priest and unto the princes of the congregation, saying, Ataroth, and Debon, and Jazer, and Nimrah, and Heshbon, and Eleeleh, and Shebam, and Nebo, and Beon. Even the country which the Lord smote before the congregation of Israel is a land for cattle, and thy servants have cattle.
So they finna ask Moses something. And I'm letting it say it because I don't want to mess my brother's names up, okay? So bear with me. So they finna ask Moses something. Because this land that they just conquered is a land for cattle. And they said, and we have cattle. Even the country which YAHAWAH smote before the congregation of Israel is a land for cattle. And thy servants have cattle. Let's see what happened.
Wherefore, said they, if we have found grace in thy sight, let this land be given unto thy servants for a possession, and bring us not over Jordan.
So they asked and they said, we don't want to go over the Jordan into the land of Canaan. Let us have this land that we just conquered. What land did they just conquer? The Amorites, right? And the king of Bashan.
And Moses said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, shall your brethren go to war, and shall ye sit here? And wherefore discourage ye the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord hath given them? Thus did your fathers, when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land.
So Moses is getting up with them, and he's saying, y'all want this land, so now y'all not going to go with us over to the land of Canaan and help us conquer that? Because that's where they were on their way to. That's where they were on their way to the land of Canaan. So we're going to jump down to Numbers 32, verse 19. After Moses give them this whole thing, right? I started 18. And it says, we will not return unto our houses. So basically Moses give them this whole spiel, and they say, no, we'll go to war with you, because Moses said you got to go to war with us in the land of Canaan, and then when we conquer everything, and then you guys could come back. And it says in verse 18, we will not return into our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. Meaning until all the tribes receive their land, they won't come back to what they asking for until all their other brothers have inherited everything that they need to have. Then they'll come back to the land for their cattle. Verse 19 says, for we will not inherit with them on yonder side of the Jordan. Meaning we won't, when you guys cross over and go into the land of Canaan, we won't inherit any land over there, because we asking for this land that we conquered, which was the Moabites at first, then the Amorites took it, and then the Israelites took it. Because our inheritance is falling to us on this side Jordan, eastward. That's what it's saying. On this side Jordan, eastward. And Moses said unto them, if you will do this thing, if ye will go before YAHAWAH to war. So Moses said, if you would do this, then okay, I can probably give you that land. I can work that out for you. I'm going to jump down to verse 33. Verse 33. You can see it on the screen, verse 33. And Moses gave unto them. Notice I'm just jumping to the key points. I encourage you, I implore you to please go back and read all this. Slow down, go back and read all this for yourself, chapter by chapter if need be, and see where the land was and what's going on. Remember, we talking about Ruth, but I'm doing all this to show you that the land that Ruth was in, as we about to read right here, and Moses gave unto them, even to the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and unto half the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and king of Og, king of Bashan, the land which the cities thereof in the coast, even the cities of the country round about. This is the land it is talking about. In the plains of Moab, the Arnon River, the Jabbok River, right? He gave that land in the plains or the country of Moab, he gave that land to Reuben. Then he gave this land up here to Gad. And then he gave this land up here from Mount Hermon to the Manasseh, half of the tribe of Manasseh. This is why this says East Manasseh. And on the other side of the Jordan, it says West Manasseh. And these are all the other tribes when they crossed over the land that they received. Benjamin, Judah, Dan, Ephraim, West Manasseh, Zebulun, Issachar, Naphtali, Asher. This is how it went. So Reuben got this land right here in the country or the plains of Moab. That's Numbers what? 32 and 33. You can read this for yourself. Okay? You can read this for yourself. This was the land. So remember in Ruth, it said what? The first thing in Ruth, it said, now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled. So when did the judges rule? Let's go to when the judges rule. We talking about 300 years, some odd later. Let's go to when the judges ruled. I'm going to go to Judges 11, and I'm going to start at verse 4. And it came to the pass in the process of time that the children of Ammon made war against the children of Israel, or against Israel. Now Ammon want to come against Israel. Not the Amorites, but that other land. These people right here want to come to war against Israel right here. Now, because remember, he gave this land to who? Reuben. Let me get the other one. So now this dude, Ammon, want to come against Reuben and Gad. He want to take this land. At Judges 11. And I just read 4. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. Right? We're going to jump down to verse 12. And Jephthah sent messages unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, what hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land? And the king and the children of Ammon answered, this is so hilarious. They answered Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt, from Arnon even unto Jabbok, talking about the rivers. And remember, that was whose land? The Amorites at that time. And unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. And Jephthah sent messages again unto the king of the children of Ammon, and said, thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. Why? Because they didn't take Moab land. Remember, because the Amorites had already took half of the Moab's land. So when the children of Israel came, they took whose land? The Amorites. They took the Amorites. I'm going to jump down to verse 26. While Israel dwelt in where? Heshbon and her towns, and in Arah and her towns, and in all the cities that belong by the coasts of Arnon, 300 years. Why therefore did you not recover them within that time? So the Israelites have been dwelling there in the land that they conquered and took which I showed you on the screen, for 300 years. And all of a sudden, now this dude wants to come and go to war and say you took my land. Stop it. Stop it. But please, if you have not read the story, please go back, finish reading all of this story. I'm just trying to show you what's going on, that the children of Israel was in this land. 300 years later, they were still in that land. They were still all in this land 300 years later after they conquered this land from the Arnon River all the way to Mount Hermon. After they took this land, 300 years later, this guy right here wants to come and go to war with them, saying you took my land. Stop it. Now Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh's land. And remember, the plains of Moab, the country of Moab. And we read, now it came to pass in the day when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land of what? Judah. A certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, or the plains of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. Right? And his 2 sons. Those 2 sons end up marrying who? In verse 4, we're going to go down here and it says, and they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Ophrah, almost looked like Oprah, huh? And the name of the other was Ruth. And they dwelt there about 10 years. Notice it says woman of Moab. Why doesn't it say daughters of Moab? Well, we're going to get it. Let's get the definition. Woman of Moab. Right? Let's get it. It says, Moabite from father, what father? 1, and citizen of Moab. A citizen. Just like, for example, just like people here, they call us African American. Or a Chinese man that comes to this country, he is called a American citizen. Does that mean that he was born here? Does that mean that he's America? No. So just because somebody lives somewhere doesn't necessarily mean that's where they're from. And it says, an inhabitant of the land of Moab. The land of Moab. Right? Now, let's get the other one about the daughters of Moab. This is the H. Let me see what it say.
Strong's H 4125. Moavi. Moavi. Gesenius lexicon. Moav. Moav.
Moab. Moab. And then it's like I said, H4125. Let's get the H4124 and see what that is. This one says, Moab of his father, a son of Lot by his eldest daughter. The nation descend from the son of Lot. The land inhabited by the descendants of the son of Lot. So this is what the difference is that these are descendants from who? Lot. This is a daughter of Moab. So there's a difference between a woman of Moab and a daughter of Moab. Hopefully you can see that. I'm hoping you can really see that. But anyway, let me jump back real quick to Numbers 21. And I want to show you something in verse 17. Then Israel sang this song, Spring up, O well, sing ye unto it. The prince digged the well, the nobles of the people digged it, by the direction of the lawgiver with their staffs, and from the wilderness they went to Matnah, and from Matnah to Nahalal, and from Nahalal to Bathmah. Hope I'm saying that right. Or Bathmah. I hope I said that right. And from Bathmah in the valley, that is in the country of Moab. Where is this place? Bathmah. Am I saying that right? Hopefully, Bathmah. It's in the valley that is in the country of Moab. Well, that's very important. Numbers 21 and 20 is going to tell us where the country or the plains of Moab is. If we look for this Bathmah, let's look for that. There it is right there. Boom! There it is right there. There it is right there. Numbers 21 and 20. There it is right there in the plains of Moab. Remember, this is whose land? Reuben's. This is Reuben land. Ruth was a Reubenite. The plains of Moab. I mean, it's right there. The Arnon River, the Jabbok River way up here. Heshbon. All the children of Israel were dwelling in here. So when Elimelech went to go dwell because of the famine, him, Naomi, and his two sons, and they said, let's go to the country of Moab, what it says right here, to the country of Moab. This is where they were saying they were going, because Bamoth is right here in the country of Moab, or the plains of Moab, which it was still called. It's still called that today in the Bible. The plains of Moab. They never changed this name. Even when the Reubenites took it over. Even when Gad is up here, you see, they still kept this name. You can see this. Let me see if I can pull another one real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 34. Let me see. So Moses, the servant of YAHAWAH, died. So Moses, the servant of YAHAWAH, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of YAHAWAH. He died in the land of Moab. Do you think he died where the Moabites was, or do you think Moses died where the Reubenites was? Verse 8, and the children of Israel cried for Moses in where? Where did they cry at? In the plains of Moab, 30 days. So the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were ended. Where did Moses die? Let me get it again. In the plains of Moab. This is where Moses died at. In the land of Reuben. This where Ruth was. In the land of Reuben. When the Judite brothers left, Elimelech and Naomi, they came to the country or the plain of Moab. And this is where they dwelt. So when his son died, first he died, then his two sons died. Naomi was left with the two daughters-in-law. Then she left with Naomi, and Ruth came, and Boaz was another Judite who stood up and took Ruth by the law, because it was by law. So somebody might say, well, why she say, are we going to dwell with other people? Because at that time, as you can see, every Israelite had his own land, and you just wasn't mixing and matching. So like you're mixing and matching. Reuben wasn't just hooking up with Gad, and Gad wasn't just hooking up with Ephraim like it is today. No, if you were Reuben, you stayed with Reuben. This is why you had your own land. To keep the what? The line going. If you were with Gad, you stayed with Gad. So it wasn't something that people just did. That's why the other brother didn't want to take it. Because remember, Boaz said, you're closer to kin, so you can take her. But he said, no, it will mess up my inheritance. Why? Because he was another Judite, and his family probably had him already ready and to get married to who? Another Judite woman. That's Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 8. Moses didn't die in the land of Moab with a bunch of Moabites, okay? Moses died with his people. As it says right here, they did what? They cried for 30 days. So the days of crying or weeping and mourning for Moses ended. You think they had a bunch of Moabites around there? No. No, not at all. Hopefully you can see that, like I said. It's a lot more, but I mean, like I say, man, people gonna do what they gonna do, you know. I'll just leave off with one more thing. Let me pull one more thing. This is Ruth. This is the marriage of Ruth when she gets to Boaz. Boaz, he's a Judite. He wouldn't even take no Moabite woman as his wife. He keeping the law. He's living righteous. He was an upright man. People want to say that Hamashiach came through this. No, Hamashiach came through this because she was a Reubenite and Boaz was a Judite. Understand that. You're going to put smut on Hamashiach YAHAWAH. You're going to put smut, dirt on Christ, saying that Boaz married a Moabite woman. How dare you? We're going to jump down to verse 10. Moreover, Ruth, the Moabitess, and you know why they did this. For those who have an ear to hear, please hear. You know why they did this. The wife of Mahalah, or Mahan, however you pronounce it, I don't want to miss. Have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren. He keeping the law. With the Most High ordained, showing you he's a righteous man. And from the gate of his place, ye are witnesses this day. Why? Because Boaz told the other dude to take her because he was near kin. But like I said, the other guy said, no, I can't. It will mess up my inheritance. So now Boaz is going to take her as his wife. And he's saying that the people, the elders and stuff that came, that they are witnesses. Here it is, verse 9, so you don't think I'm just. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all people, ye are witnesses this day that I have bought all that Elimelech's and all that was, I don't want to mispronounce his name, Shilon's, Mahalah's, of the hand of Naomi. So these people were witnesses in this. I know I'm probably badgering the names, bear with me. Well, that don't have nothing to do about Ruth being no Israelite, okay? You can see it as plain as day. You can go back to it yourself, however you want to look at it. Then they say this right here. Look at this. You want to put smut on Ruth. But then look at this, what the people say, the witnesses, everybody that's there, the elders, and all the people that were in the gate. And the elders said, we are witnesses. YAHAWAH make the woman that has come into the house like who? Rachel and Leah. Does anybody know who Rachel and Leah is? Does anybody know who Rachel and Leah is? You should know, because they birthed the 12 tribes of Israel. Which two did build? Look how they giving her homage. Let me read that one more time. We said, we are witnesses, YAHAWAH. They speaking to the Most High YAHAWAH, and they said, make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel. Exalt this woman like Rachel and like Leah. Leah had Benjamin and Joseph, I believe. Which two did build the house of Israel? These two women built the house of Israel. So you telling me witnesses that was there that day is going to call on the Most High YAHAWAH and ask the Most High YAHAWAH to build this woman up, a Moabite woman, build this woman up to be like Rachel and Leah? When the Most High said this, let me get this. This is what the Most High said about Moabites and Amorites. This is Deuteronomy chapter 23. Let me blow this up super big. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 3. An Amorite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of YAHAWAH, even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of YAHAWAH forever. And you telling me witnesses, Israelite, Judites, because Boaz was from the tribe of Judah, and they in the land of Judah, are sitting up telling people to make her like Rachel and Leah, and she was a Moabite woman? Are you serious? Are you serious, really? And tell her to what? Build the house of Israel? A Moabite woman is going to build the house of Israel. YAHAWAH is going to allow a Moabite woman to build the house of Israel. And then it says right here, and be famous. So you telling me they want a famous Moabite in Bethlehem? They want a Moabite woman to be famous in Bethlehem and be like Rachel and Leah. Isaac couldn't even marry nobody different. He had to go and get his people. Jacob was the same thing. Jacob was the same way. He had to go to Laban. It was the same thing. And you telling me that the Most High changed his mind here? From Deuteronomy 23? Somebody might say, well, no, that's just 10 generations. Let's get it. In every text. Let's see what it say. Don't spin on me now, baby. Don't spit on me now. The NIV, no Amorite or Moabite or any of their who? Descendants. If she was a Moabite, she would be a descendant of a Moabite, may enter into the assembly of YAHAWAH. Not even The Most High Yahweh said, not even in the 10th generation they can't do it. Even in the 10th generation. But they exalting this woman in Ruth 4:10, telling the people that she gonna be like Rachel and Leah to build up Israel. Let's get another one. No Amorite, NASB 20, no Amorite or Moabite may, Salakia, no Amorite or Moabite may enter the assembly of Yahweh, none of their descendants, even to the 10th generation, may ever enter the assembly of Yahweh. Shall ever enter. It says ever. Even to the 10th generation shall ever enter the assembly. I mean, that's clear. That's very clear. It says right here in the RSV, none belonging to them shall enter into the assembly of Yahweh. If I'm not mistaken, assembly, a congregation, and that's when people gather. Israelites. And all of them people, the witnesses, everybody they called was Israelites. Ruth shouldn't even been there. Let alone be talking about she gonna be famous, be exalted as Rachel and Leah. They want her to be famous in Bethlehem. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Anyway, like I said, Ruth was an Israelite from the tribe of Reuben. She ended up marrying Boaz, who was from the tribe of Judah. And that's why Hamashiach Yahawashi, Christ, came from that line. And Ruth was a very important part. This is why they said, Yahweh make the woman that is coming to thine house. What house did she come into? The Judite house. Like Rachel and who? Leah. Like Rachel and Leah. Who built who? Israel. Who is Israel? Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. And be famous in Bethlehem. Don't forget that Deuteronomy, man. You know, however you want to look at it. You can look through any one. You see them on the screen. You see them on the screen. Ain't nobody running. We got it in every language. However you want it. Wherever you want it. This one, look at this one, say BBE, no Amorite or Moabite or any of their people. Come on, man. Even in Espanol, we got it all. That's enough. Anyway. Look at this one, says, no Ammonite and Moabite shall not enter into the assembly of Yahweh, even into the 10th generation. He shall not enter into the assembly of Yahweh, even forever. Forever. But you telling me that they exalt Ruth, a Moabite, and telling her to be famous in Bethlehem. Come on, man. We got to do better. Ruth was an Israelite. Okay? Ruth was an Israelite. From where? The tribe of Reuben in the plains of Moab. This is where Elimelech went, in the plains of Moab. Look for that. Bamoth. Just look for that. And find out where. And from Bamoth in the valley, that is in the what? Country of Moab. Bamoth is right here. And we say this is in the country of Moab, which is what? In the land of Reuben. That kills it. And the Anan River is right here where the Israelites took that from who? The Amorites. Even to what? The Jabbok River. So kill that noise. Anyway, hopefully it was edifying. Like I said, Ruth is a Israelite from the tribe of Reuben. She was a Reubenite, and she ended up marrying Boaz, who was from the tribe of Judah. So let's clear that. Ruth was not a Moabite. She was an actual Israelite from the tribe of Reuben. I'm going to get ready to get out of here. We give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahawah, the water, for bringing this out, Yahawah, through the Spirit, being with me. May he barak y'all out there. And with that, I'm going to say Shalawam and Kwam Yasharallah. Remember, go back and read all the scriptures for yourself so you can see what it's really saying and where they were. They were in the plains of Moab. This is where Moses died, in the plains of Moab. Why? Because they had conquered that land. You think after they conquered all this, Moses went back down here past the Arnon River where the Moabites was at? You think he did that? No, he was right here with his people. That's why they sat here and mourned with him. And then after that, then what? Joshua took them over to Jordan. And they started getting busy. Anyway, Shalawam.